In this video, we're going to talk about how to start and maintain conversations so that you never run out of things to say. Let's talk about two different extremes of what happens in conversations. Ever been in a situation where maybe you're out with someone, maybe you're on a date, or you're at a networking event and you're trying to get to know the person that you're talking to, and then all of a sudden there's a pause. And that pause kind of grows into a longer silence. And then you're like, I gotta go. There's somebody else I know that I want to talk to because this conversation is going nowhere. What about being in a situation where you're with someone and you're just talking? You're going from one topic to the next. The conversation is flowing. It's going back and forth, and it's filled with this energy. It's making you feel good. The time is just flying by, and you can't believe how long you've been talking with that person, and you don't want it to end. Those are the two extremes of conversations. The one that are really awesome, the one that really sucks, and you're going to find yourself somewhere along the spectrum. The common factor to all of those conversations that you're in is you. So it is key that you do have the knowledge and the ability to initiate conversation, to keep conversations moving, entertaining, engaging, and interesting. So that way, your side of the responsibility in the conversation is fully and well covered. It is a no-brainer. In order to have incredible conversations, you need things to say. You need to have quality content to share with people, to engage in elevating your stories. And the only way that you get that done is that you prepare yourself. You become a storyteller. You develop your first-time story repertoire, which has 30 to 50 stories that vary of their subject, different topics, theme, experiences that allow you to weave powerful content in every conversations that you have. Plus, the exercise of developing your repertoire is going to allow you to shift your thinking into storytelling, into becoming a storyteller. So then when you communicate with others, you paint pictures, you draw people in. You engage in ensuring that you have their attention, that you maintain their attention, and that you're providing them a value in what you share and what you say and the content that you provide, the stories that you tell. A great way to start and initiate a conversation is by asking someone a question that you have an awesome story to share about. So you ask them the question, they tell their story, or they answer that question. Hopefully they volley the question back to you, but if they don't, that's not a problem, because you can still go ahead and say, well, let me tell you about my story. And then you go ahead and you share that story and you build that energy if they're actively listening and are interested in enjoying what you have to tell them. And then they might come back with some powerful follow-on question that's going to keep that conversation going. Then you just need to be, conscientious of, okay, now let me ask the next question. Let's step into the next topic. Let me invite them into, continuing to grow where this conversation is going. Another key thing is that you have to go into conversation, interactions with people with a willingness to be open and vulnerable and genuine. because nothing will halt a conversation more than if a topic is brought up and someone doesn't want to talk about it. That will halt and stop the conversation. So if you have a willingness to allow yourself to be vulnerable and to open up and to talk about vast majority of topics, everyone has certain topics that are possibly off limits. Personally, I don't, but I respect that for most people, there might be one or two topics that you really do not want to talk about. So you're going to want to stay away from those topics. But for everything else, you're going to want to be open about discussing your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions about the subject and the topic that is being discussed, because that is what creates the bond and the connection to the person that you're talking to. It's what makes them comfortable with you so that they will open up and they will share more, which is what is going to get that conversation to go deeper and deeper and allow it to keep growing and moving and evolving. Nothing will stop me from talking or sharing stories faster than someone who's not paying attention. So when I'm talking to someone, I am reading body language and I am looking for input that lets me know that you are listening. And if you're not listening, then I'm not interested in talking to you. So if you have conversations that constantly stall on you, you might want to consider the fact that you're not a good listener and you don't make people feel comfortable in talking to you. You want to be an active listener. You want to make eye contact. You want to mirror the body language that the person is expressing to you. You want to listen and be curious and interested in what they have to say. That curiosity is really going to help you think and come up with powerful follow-on questions that's going to keep that conversation going. So you don't want to be listening for what you want to say next. You want to be listening and really learning and paying attention to what they're saying, because that will generate the powerful questions in the process. There you go. Now you have all the information that you need in order to start preparing for your next conversation so that you bring your A game. That way, if you end up having to carry the conversation, you'll be able to do that. If you need to give it some oomph to light it back up, you'll be able to do that. And you'll also know if it's not a conversation worth having. In the next video, I'm going to take you through what your first time story repertoire would look like. Go ahead and comment. What type of conversations do you normally find yourself in? The type where there are a lot of pauses and long silences and the conversation doesn't flow, or the other end of the spectrum where you are engaged in really fabulous, amazing conversation where the time goes by. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell so that you get all the updates every time a new video is posted.